Hello guys and welcome back to Kids Coding Playground. Today we'll be working on a new game called Breakers. This game basically we want to bounce the ball off the paddle to break the breaks, and then if you get the star as a bonus point, you don't have to get them. Once all the breaks are gone, the next stage will come on. But before we do that, we have to get the basic working first, just getting the brakes, the ball and the paddle working first. Later on, we'll work on the star. When I was a kid, I remember I played this game called Breakout. So Breakout is like a game that I used to play. You bounce a ball up and then you break the break. So this is very similar to Breakout. So basically, there's some breaks on the top of the stage. We want to hit it with a baseball and bounce it off and hit the breaks. Once the player breaks all the breaks, then the player wins the game. Later on, we'll add the star for the bonus. This is star actually. I put start here. That's wrong. So the star for the bonus and keep the game going and continue with the next stage. So let's get the basic of the game working first. Okay, so let me go over here to kind of show you how the game looks like. Okay, so let me start the game. As you can see, you have a lot of breaks on the screen, and we want to break as much breaks as possible. Once we break, I lost. I did not break all the breaks, but as you can see, there's a number of breaks left here and total score that I have. Basically, I have to break all the breaks, get the star, and then if I don't get a star, that's fine. But if I break all the breaks, it will go to the next level. But before that, we'll get the regular ball and the paddle and the breaks working first. Then we can start adding the breaks later on. I mean the star later on. Okay, let's begin the lesson. We'll create a new project. Okay, we have the new project created. We need to find a background. We can either draw a background or search a background here. Before when I made the first game, I did draw the background. For this time, maybe we can just pick one of the backgrounds, so a little bit easier. We can either use a sky or city or something like that. So let's try this one. This might look good. Let's delete the cat. What we need to do is we are going to have to draw our breaks. So we'll have to say paint a new sprite. Okay, here we will make our own breaks. We have to use this rectangular shape. We can use we need to have the outline. Okay, so let's draw our breaks first and we'll change the color in a bit. So we draw a little break here. So as you can see, this is blue. That's not what we wanted. If I want green, red, we can make it a little bit smaller. Can zoom in a little bit. So we kind of put it in the center here, maybe a little smaller. Okay. What we need to do, we have to increase this to 1 or 2 if you like. Doesn't matter. Maybe 3. This is like a outer color. So we can select a different color for the fill. So let's select, this is inside, we'll select some color here. Maybe here, and then this is, and then this is, looks okay, right? The brakes looks good. And then the outer one, we can select a darker red. Maybe like this. So you can see, right, there's a thicker outer red. I'm not sure the background is good. Let's see. Still we have a lighter background. Let's use blue sky. Blue sky may be better. Or you can paint your own. Let me remove the other one. So let's delete this. and we'll delete this. So we'll use the blue sky. Blue sky looks good. We can see the outline of the brakes. So now we are done with that brake. So what we need to do next, we need to add the baseball. Okay, we get the baseball. Okay, so with the brakes, with the baseball, then we need the paddle. Oh, I think I see the paddle already earlier. Oh, okay, I was using a button. Do we actually have a paddle? Let's see. Yeah, we do have a paddle, similar to the beach ball, right? Yeah, we can use this or the button, doesn't really matter. Let's just use the paddle. Let's try with the paddle this time. So we have the ball, we have the brake, and we have the paddle. All right. What we need to do is we start to code the baseball. Okay. Before we move on, I'd like you guys to please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you know any friend that would like to learn about Scratch, please forward our channels to them. All right, so let's begin our lesson today. Okay, we'll work on the baseball first. Okay, make sure we're in a baseball. We can move this, adjust this around a little bit. Let's go to the code. What we need is always we need something called start. When green flag is clicked, that means when you click on this green flag, this code will execute. Okay, we also need a variable actually. We can rename this to score, or we can create a new one, doesn't matter. In the beginning, we also want to reset the score to 0 so that when we begin the game, we always reset the score. Then we also want to resize the baseball a bit. I think the baseball a little too big. We'll give it 50%. Then we have to say point in direction. So what we're going to do is point in direction 0, meaning the baseball is going to point upward. So the baseball will fly up. Okay. Then we say, okay, let's move them at 0, 0 position. So this will be dead center in here somewhere. Then we say we're going to use a control. Let's repeat 10 times. We will move 5 steps. So that's total is 50 steps. So basically the ball will move up when the game starts. It will move up and bounce off, and then so that gives the player a little bit more time to adjust the paddle. Okay. After that, we are going to add this repeat until loop. So we're gonna make it really simple first to make sure that we get the basic of the game first. Then we'll change it in a bit. So here, what we are going to do is we are going to check if the score. So basically, if the score is equal to 100, when we get 100 points, the game will end. Okay, so 100. After that, so I'll repeat until the score is 100. What is the ball going to do? So whatever before 100, this is what it's going to do in here. We'll say if on edge bounce, okay, and then we will put move 10 step. So basically this ball, when it hit the edge, will just bounce around. And then we need an if statement here. Okay, we'll check the Y position of the ball. So Y position is basically where the ball is at. So let's say right now that you see the ball is at 59, negative 59, right? So this is the Y position. Well, we need to check if the ball is like somewhere below here, right? Like 130 or 160, whatever it is. Then we want to say the game is ended, right? We don't want the ball to drop down. Basically, we want to keep the paddle up, keep the ball up as much as possible. If the balls drop down, then we lose the game. Okay, let's go back to the ball. I was just accidentally click on the paddle. So what we need to do is, so we're gonna check this Y position where the ball is at. we're going to use this operator. So we're going to use this less than. Go back to the sensing. Oops, not sensing, motion. So Y position. If the Y position is less than, let's say 160, somewhere down the bottom, then we're gonna broadcast an event saying that the game is over. So we'll broadcast a new message, say game over. Else we'll broadcast the message that new message, you win, you won. Okay, all right. So we have the baseball so far. So basically this is the code where the baseball just kind of move around the screen and it bounce off the edges. Okay, so next we will also need some more code here. Okay, so we'll need the when the message flag when it's clicked. So when the game is over, what we need to do is with the stop out of script in the sprite, basically stopping anything else so that we don't want the ball to keep on moving, right? So stop out of script in the sprite, and we will say game over, and then we can play some sound. Okay, can I play this? So this is a sound that we will play when the game is over. Go back to sound. Okay, and then we are going to stop everything. All right, so far that's what we have. Then we have to catch the other event as well. Okay. All right, so we have this other event. Okay, if the players win, maybe I should change it to win. So doesn't matter, you can change this out. So you win. Okay, all right, so this part is also we want to do something similar. We also need to stop out of script in the sprite. Then we will, similar to this when we're saying over, right, game over, right, we're going to say win. Okay, and then we have a stop all as well. Okay, so these two code are really similar. One is the game over and one is the player win. So very similar. So we'll just save this. Don't forget to save, and we'll to call this breaker. Okay, maybe I have to call it breaker 2 because I have the other one. Okay, so far we got the baseball, we got the baseball code somewhat working. We'll look into the paddle. If you want to test your game, you can click on this. As you can see, the ball kind of bounce it off the edge, right? Bounce it up and then down, right? We haven't worked on the paddle. You see the paddle not bouncing off the paddle or the brakes. So we have to work on the paddle and the brakes. Next, we will work on the paddle. So paddle, same thing. We'll have to use this. Maybe zoom in a little bit. We can move the paddle anywhere we want, maybe somewhere here. So what you can do is you can set the Y at this position. I think this is about right. Let's do 137, right? 138 maybe, like 138. And then we'll set the size. I think the size looks okay. We don't really have to set the size then. We'll leave it. Then we'll have to use this control forever. So what we want to do is we want to make the paddle kind of follow the mouse. Whenever we move the mouse side to side, the paddle kind of follow us around. So what we need to do is we need to set the X. So set X to, we'll go sensing, mouse X. And then we need an if statement here. So what we need to check is make sure if the baseball hit this paddle, we want to bounce it off. Okay. Well, okay, we go back to sensing. You remember this sensing. There's something there to test if there's something collide. So we will check if it's touching the baseball. What we're going to do is we are going to make the baseball bounce. So since we're here in this paddle, we cannot make him bounce, right? So what we need to do is we need to make a new message, say bounce. So this will call the message bounce, will broadcast a message bounce, and then if the baseball receives the message bounce, we'll bounce it off. We haven't worked on that yet, but we'll. Then we want to put a sound. Okay, we do have a sound already here. Okay, great point. Okay, we will say sound, start a sound. Okay. So if you so there's two things here. This one is until done, and this. So if you use this, it doesn't kind of wait. If you use until done, then you have to wait until this music is done, then it will move on. So we don't want to wait actually. So we'll just use start the sound. And also, if we receive the message game over, so what we also want to do is we want to stop other script in Sprite. We don't want to stop all because we still want to let the baseball say you win or you lose, right? So that's why we don't want to do that. We want to just simply stop the script. Basically, don't want anything to run here or here. So this one. So that's what we need. So far we have this. So when game over, we want to stop the script. Basically, scrapping the script, not making him follow, not making the paddle follow the mouse anymore. Okay, let's test it real quick. So as you can see, my paddle is kind of moving with my mouse, but it's not bouncing off the baseball yet. What we need to do is we had the code already, right? Broadcast, right? So we need to go back to the baseball to work on that. Okay. So in the baseball, we move this code a little bit up. We are going to add one when I receive bounce. Okay, I'm going to say turn. Let's do this turn, but we can do, so we will change it later on to a little bit better. For now, we'll use it like this. And we are going to use a random 150 to 210 degree. Okay, and then we'll say move 30 steps. So when it bounces, it kind of hit the ball. When the ball hits something, it will move it faster. So 30 speed, that's what we want. 30 step. Okay, and then we need something similar. For the breaks, for the break later, we will work on the clone. But now let's just test it out first. So as you can see, the ball is bouncing off the paddle, right? But it's not hitting the brakes yet. So we'll need that later. So, and also the ball hits on the bottom, is game over and plays that alien quick sound, right? Just like what we did here. Okay. Next, we will work on the brakes. Now we'll go to the break. And we have to drag this flag when green flag is clicked. The break is, I think, might have to set the size. Let's see, this is 100, let's say 50. How's 50 look? 50 is too small, right? Yeah, 75, maybe. Yeah, 75 looks good. So you can just play around with your size. I mean, depending on the how big the breaks you draw, so it could be different, right? Okay, we got the break, so we want to do 75, right? We can do it over here as well, or you can just change it here or permanently change it, either way. Also, we want to hide the break when the game start, and we will want to use a loop here. So what we want to do, okay, we want to repeat, let's say 20 breaks, and then we will create a clone of myself. Basically, this will create the clone of the break. And also, when the game is over, we want to also stop this part. So we also need this. Saying game over. We also remember we were using the stop all. We have to do the same thing with the say stop all the other sprite in the script, just like how we did for the other one. Now we have to create the code for the clone. Let's move all this over here. Okay, when I start as a clone, so basically this one what calls this. Okay, so what do we want to do? So we're repeating 20 times, so it is going to call this 20 times whatever you put in here. So since we have high before, so we have to show, and then we will say go to, so we're going to put some random position for this, right? We don't want the breaks to be in the same place, so we say random. So the X, we are going to make the breaks between here and here, right? So this is like, as you can see, if you go to motion, you can see this is 200, negative 200, and this is, a positive 200 or something, right? So what we can do is we'll put negative 200 to positive 200 for the X, and then for the Y, we want to keep it up like above this line, right? Whatever, like 50 or whatever, right? To maybe 35, or you can go 35 to what, 160, 150. So what we need, we can do the random, and then I am going to say 35 to 150. So 35 is like maybe here, right? See, this is negative, so they'll probably here, right? So it's like here, right? You see 35, 34. So here to the top of here, so the breaks can generate around this area here. Okay. And then we need a forever loop. So forever loop is something that's going to happen over and over again. We need to check. So we will want to check if it's touching the baseball. So we can drag this here. We have to change it to baseball. So we have to say, okay, if it touched the baseball, we want to hide the breaks. Also, we are going to change the score by 5. We'll give them 5 points because we're going at 100, right? There's 20 breaks, and we are testing the baseball, right? At 100 point, we win, right? So we're doing 5 points. That's why. Then we have broadcast. So when we hit the baseball, hit the break, we also want it to bounce also. So what we have to do is we hit broadcast bounce. Then we have to play a sound pop. Oh, we have pop already. So we'll say start sound. You remember, right? We did earlier. We don't want to use the until done, so say pop. Then also when you do when you work on clone, you have to remember to delete the clone. If not, it will keep on generating. It won't be correct. So you need this. Alright, so let's save this, let's test it out. So you can see it generated some breaks on top. Okay, let me try again. I think there are 20, probably something around 20, right? So we can always test it. So let's try a little bit less. Okay, let's say 10 breaks. We can use a variable later, so we don't have to change this loop. So we'll give 10 points because we're testing 100 points. So let's see how it works. So we have 10 breaks. This, I think it's harder than it looks. So as you can see, my ball has always bounced that side, which is not good. What we are going to do is we're gonna have to change that a bit later. Okay, you see? Okay, almost there. Oh wow. Okay, come on. Okay. Okay, what happened? It did not say win. Hold on, let me check the score. Okay, the score. Oh, I say set score to 10. See a mistake here. So I have to say change score by 10 because setting the score at 10 is always going to be 10, right? So it's incorrect. Drop this out. Let's say change score by 10 points, right? So sometimes I do make a mistake. So let's try again. So let's see. Hopefully we can get a win. Okay, that is harder than I think. Oh my god, it fell down. Okay, let's get it 5. Let's do 5. Okay. And we're going to change it instead of 100, we'll say okay, 50 points. Okay? We're gonna have 5 times 10 points, so 50 points. Let's try it again. Let's just make sure that, oh, no, good. Okay, come on. Come on, buddy. Okay. I'm not very good at this, as you can see. Come on, last one. No, don't fall down. Oh, come on. So sometimes the ball you can see is kind of getting stuck here. So it's not perfect because you know how this change. Let me change something to this code to make it a little bit better. Just a sec. Okay, we're gonna make it more random. Let's go back over here, the bounce. We'll change this out a little bit actually. Instead of it's always going on one direction, what we're going to do is we're going to add an if statement here. We'll have to use an if else, sorry. So we'll say basically what we want to do is if it's between 1 and 2, we'll pick up one number. Let's duplicate this. Actually, we don't have to. We cannot duplicate because the churn is different. So we'll put this in the bottom. Get another turn. Duplicate this. So now we will say, okay, if it's 1, it will turn to the right. If it's 2, it will turn to the left, and then we'll move 30 steps. Now let's try it again. See how the ball works better. So as you can see, the ball does work a little bit better with this random. So, oh my, I missed it. Oh. Okay. Come on, come on. Okay, you see, wow, I'm finally got it. You win, right? So you win. We stop everything because we check the score is 50 points, and we are creating only 5 clones, right? 5 bricks, and each brick we give 10 points. So 50 points, you win. So next time we will work on lesson 2, basically adding the extra bonus stage or bonus point with the star, and also after the we want to make it in such a way that after you break all the bricks, then you can go into the next level. Basically, it'll start and regenerate all the bricks again with the star, and then player can continue playing. And if the player drops the ball down, and then they lose. So this is about it for this lesson, and we'll continue next time. Thank you. Please subscribe and like our videos, and let us know your feedback. Thank you very much. Bye bye.